Hey everyone, it's Jessie back to you on my channel, and I'm here for the Q&A video that I've been meaning to do. I tried to do this last week, but my energy was like too whack, and I'm feeling a little bit better. Every day is getting better. I just really want to make this video just because you guys gave me a lot of juicy questions that I want to answer. And yeah, so I'm just really excited to do this video overall. I'm not going to be able to answer all of you guys' questions that you asked me. I'm sorry, and today is Monday as I'm filming this, and I usually put out my question box on my Instagram story, but I want to get this video done before I do another question box for you guys, so you guys can ask me more questions, because I did get a lot of questions, and I'll try to answer the best of my knowledge. And also, with the little, like, box that I put up on the screen, I'm keeping it all anonymous, just because I don't know if you guys want, like, your name to be on my videos or anything. So, yeah, that's why I crop out the username. So let's hop right in. What books have impacted you the most? I'm going to answer this one first just because I get asked this question all the time, especially on TikTok. So I have a few books here with me. I'm going to put a picture of one of the books. I don't have it anymore because I gave it to a friend, but that book was the first book I ever read about spirituality, and that what basically got me into it in the summer of 2017, and that's just like such an easy read too. And the author of the book is really cool. He has a YouTube channel. I'll link him down below. But the other books that I have is The Psychic Powers. This one I got when I was 14 years old, and it's just so fucking cool. Like, it has literally anything that you would ever need, like about crystals, tarot, palm reading, visualization, meditation. It just has everything you could ever need in this book. And it's just really fucking cool. Like, I really like this book. And then with Chakra Awakening, this is a book I recently read. It goes really in depth with all of the chakra points. That's funny, but yeah, and it was just like such an interesting read. It gave me so much information that I needed. It's actually really good to know about the chakras and like what you can do specifically on how to balance them and help them, because like you guys have no idea how much your energy points actually affect your emotional, spiritual, and physical state. So yeah, this is a very helpful book. Last of all, this is a book that I've been using since the summer of 2019. I was really skeptical at first about like working with angels and guides and stuff like that, because I was still new to everything. But after I had a few crazy experiences with working with some of the angels in this book, I was completely convinced that like this is a way to go. And also like it's just so fucking cool. Like it has all this information about all these different goddesses, gods, ascended masters, archangels, and they all have a different purpose. For example, there was an incident that, it sounds a little weird, but there's a certain archangel in here, Archangel Camel, I think that's how you pronounce it, but he helps you find things that you lost, which is a really interesting, weird thing. But I've used him, I've worked with him a few times in the past if I like lost my keys or like lost something. And the last thing that happened, I lost like $400 in cash. Like I hid it somewhere in my room, I completely forgot about it. And I was freaking out because, like, I always rearrange my room. I'm, like, a weirdo as fuck. A while of searching, I called upon him, and I was like, yo, like, help your girl out. Like, I need to find this. And I gave it, like, 2 minutes, and I was able to find it right afterwards. And that's what usually happens. Like, I've lost keys and certain things in the past that right after I call upon him, like, he comes. And that's not the only angel that I've used in the past that I've worked with, that have helped me in like really crazy ways like that. So yeah, it's a really cool book. Do you feel like you judge others based on how conscious they are? So I really liked how raw and real this question is. I'm going to say straight up that I used to very much do this. Back when I first like started to really awaken, which was like in the winter of 2018, I of course like I would judge people for not being on the same path. I would get really sad because people wouldn't agree with me on things. I couldn't relate to anyone about the things that I was interested in, and I was definitely in that judgmental state. Like I was definitely in that state of being very uncomfortable with where I was and what I believed in, and I just wasn't confident. But since I'm constantly learning on this journey, I know that everyone is exactly where they need to be in their life, and I really do stand by that. That was a realization I had a while back, that like, you know, there's no point on trying to, you know, convince people to agree with me. Like, there's just, everyone has their own perception over anything based on their own experiences. So, like, for me, like, let's say spirit guides, I believe in spirit guides, I believe that they're real, so they're real to me. but like someone else couldn't, and that's real for them. It's so much more peaceful just like not caring about what other people think. Overall, to answer your question, absolutely not. I do not judge people. I think everyone needs to be in the mindset that they're in. I believe very strongly in the butterfly effect, and I think we need everything in the picture, just like yin yang. We just need everything in order to make everything else work. So yeah, if that makes sense. What's going on with the universe right now? This is a good question. There's a lot of things going on. Basically, overall, to give you a summary of it, basically the vibration on planet Earth is rising, and whenever that happens, everyone experiences some type of transformation. It's no different from like you walking into a room and like there's this negative energy, someone's being really negative. You'll start to pick up on that energy. It's exactly like that. There's just like this huge shift in the vibration that we experience here on planet Earth. So that's why things are very weird right now. Like coincidences are more common. You know, very vivid dreams, lucid dreams, deja vu, like feeling really lost, which is a big thing that I've been feeling. I've been feeling very lost in my life. Very mixed emotions. Yeah, that's just basically meaning that you're ascending when you feel those type of symptoms. So yeah, that's what's happening. But it's all happening for a very divine, perfect reason, and I'm really excited about it. So hang in there, guys. Was it hard connecting with your guides? How did you grow your relationship with them? This is really interesting. It wasn't hard. It was just basically when I finally gave them permission to start showing themselves into my life. But it was after like I had my like real spiritual awakening, I started to see the angel numbers and like feathers, and I started to see signs of them. But it wasn't until like I actually like gave them permission to start like showing themselves to me, like where I can actually see them, dream of them, hear them, you know, things like that. And after that happened, there was some really crazy experiences that I had, where I like actually heard my name being called when I was like home alone. It was the most freakiest fucking thing. I'll show a little video right now. Kenzie, I'm freaking the fuck out. I'm home alone. I'm completely home alone, and I'm in the kitchen, and I was, holy fuck, I'm freaking out. I felt this really trapped energy, like I just started to feel this really strong trapped energy within my chest. I just screamed, like I just moaned really loud. And I shit you fucking not. Literally, I heard my name being screamed back to me. It was just like so loud. It was like right up in my ear. And it was just like, it sounded like almost like, it sounded so loud in my ear, but so far away at the same time. It was like, I feel like I said my name where it was just like, Jessie, like something like that. And it was, I literally froze and just, like, I was like, no, I did not just fucking hear that. Like, that was, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm freaking out right now. Oh my god. But yeah, that video, I was so freaked out, because, like, it was just, like, that was just a few weeks after I gave them permission to start showing themselves to me. So, like, basically, no, it's not hard to, like, work with your spirit guides. You just have to give them permission. It was growing my relationship with them. It was basically by talking to them. Since I'm an introvert as fuck, like I love talking to myself. Like there was a time in my life, I still do it, where I just kind of sit down and I, like, instead of meditating, I'll just talk like I'm talking to someone. It sounds crazy, but like, and I'll feel the energy of my guides around me when I do this. It's just like kind of like a talk therapy type of thing. Where I would just like talk about my life, talk about like what's going on, like I'll talk to them like they're right there listening to me, and they are, and that's how I grew like a deeper connection with them. And there's like a few things that you can look out for, like when your spirit guides are near, like if you start to see light orbs, ear ringing, chills on your body, or like you'll actually hear things. Like I've actually heard things, and also seen things. I have seen like really weird shit. Another thing is I have a spirit animal that always comes into my life in very divine time. Like I always see it in like a crazy, like coincidental time, and that's the blue heron. I've always had a really deep connection with that animal for some reason, and I've always seen it on like really crazy occasions. So yeah, just like, it's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard. Can you talk more about psychedelics and spiritual awakenings? Okay, so first off, I don't condemn the use of illegal drugs. This is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. And also, you don't need psychedelics to experience a spiritual awakening. I want to say that straight up, like, you don't. Like, so many people have a third eye awakening through so many different experiences and, situations, but, like, only just my specific path has been, using psychedelics. Basically, psychedelics help you, open more doors in your mind. It makes more connections in your mind when you're under the influence of it. So that's why, like, literally when you trip on psychedelics, it's known to expand your mind. You're literally opening to different states of consciousness, just with how the chemicals work in your brain. It's a very interesting thing. I'll link some videos below if I can find some that give you more of like a scientific reason of like why you experience spiritual awakenings through psychedelics. I was using psychedelics to basically try to reach enlightenment. I soon found that like I don't need the drug to experience nirvana and enlightenment and oneness and stuff like that. I eventually stopped using it, of course, because I started to actually be able to form the feeling that psychedelics gave me naturally sober. Psychedelics have helped me in so many ways. I get over drug addictions. I used to be very, very addicted to marijuana, and it kind of taking psychedelics have completely stopped that. I struggled a lot with drugs in the past, like just with alcohol, weed, and stuff like that, and I just had that escapism type of mindset, and psychedelics were like the biggest thing that like stopped me from like being in that state. Like there was this one, my last ever LSD experience, which was April 19th, 2018. During that time I was really awakening, and I was struggling with alcohol. I was drinking like pretty much 7 nights a week, and I was like, yeah, it was a hard time, just because I was like really confused with my life and myself, and I really started to wake up, and everyone else around me didn't understand what I was going through, so that was very hard. So I would drink alcohol to like numb myself down. My last ever LSD experience, I 3 times during that trip I had this really strong urge to drink. Like I was just like, I need alcohol right now, like fuck. And like usually when I would trip, I would never crave anything other than just like being there in the moment. Like I would never eat, I would never like anything like that. But yeah, during that time, like the LSD was really like bringing up the addiction up to the surface while I was tripping. And after that experience, like I had this really traumatizing dream that like kind of showed me my life if I kept on drinking. And yeah, so that's an example of like how the psychedelics can help you with drug addiction, depression, anxiety. I recommend it to anyone that's curious, that wants to do it. And also another thing, treat it like a medicine. Treat it as like your, it's like a sacred medicine that you respect so much. Like every time I would go into a trip, I would make sure I was around good people, or I was alone. I would be in a really comfortable place, like my room, where I could see colors and tapestries, and I could paint, and I could like whatever. And like your mental state too. Like if you have an intention of wanting to grow something. My last ever shroom experience, I went into the trip wanting to heal my lack of self-love. And so before I took it, I was just like, help me heal my lack of self-love. Like I really want this trip to open me up to more self-love. And sure enough, I had major breakthroughs during that trip. So it's like that. Like treat it as like a medicine. Treat it as like a very spiritual practice that you can use. And just don't be stupid with it, because I was stupid with it a few times in the past, but I was young back then. I was just young and dumb. So yeah, that's basically it. Sorry I can talk about psychedelics for a long time, because I really respect them. Even though I don't take them anymore, I don't use psychedelics. I will always like answer you guys' questions about that. So yeah. Alright, we got a long one here. Hey there, I appreciate the opportunity to go deep with like-minded souls. If you don't mind me asking, was there a defining moment, a juncture, or peak meaningful experience that shifted your life in the direction of spirituality? Yes, there was. Speaking of my last question about psychedelics, there was that time on my second LSD experience. It was May 14th of 2017. I remember every date of my psychedelic trips just because like I would treat it like a medicine and like a ceremony type of thing. I was alone, I was sitting on my roof, it was like almost sunrise, and I was listening to the song Time by Pink Floyd, and for the first time ever, I was having these really interesting thoughts come through. I was like having these awakening thoughts, like these thoughts that I've never had before about my life, about myself. Like, it was just, I was having these major breakthroughs. I didn't know what was going on at the time. I did a voice memo when I was like in the middle of my trip, and I was just like talking about like what I was thinking. I'll like put a little clip right here for you guys to listen to.
Be over, like I'm tired, and don't get me wrong, I'm fucking tired, but like the stars look so beautiful tonight, and it's really making me think, and I'm just listening to Pink Floyd, and I'm really hoping after this a change, and I become a better person, and I just become a person that I would be proud of.
I was feeling all these certain things, and I was looking at the stars. I was just like having this really strong energy come through, and looking back, I didn't know what it was, but it was the state of nirvana, of oneness, and I was feeling that for the first time. And I remember I was looking up at the stars, and I was still tripping, but I wasn't really. And there was this blue light that was like slowly making its way across the night sky above me. And I was like so fixated on it. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I like kept on looking at it. I was like, that can't be like a UFO or a plane or anything. Cause like, I was like, I can't be still tripping because it seemed so real, like this blue light. And all of a sudden, like right when the blue light like got right above me in the night sky, a shooting star went right in alignment with it and it disappeared. After that, I had this massive feeling rush over me that I can't even explain still to this day. But after that experience I had, I was never the same. Like a few weeks later, that's when the universe started introducing me to the third eye and the ego and spirituality. Like at that time, I didn't know anything about that. I was divinely guided to this type of stuff after that experience. So yeah, I see 333 everywhere. What does it mean? Okay, so 333 means mind, body, and spirit. It's when your ascended masters are with you right now and they want to assist you, they want to guide you. When you're saying 333, it's a very high vibrational number to see. It's when like you're on like a very divine path, is that you're being very divinely guided, like you're in a path of great awakening and you're getting a lot of assistance right now from the universe. So when you see this number, just take notice of what you're consuming, like from your food and what you're consuming, like through social media and stuff. Like, so if you keep seeing this number, maybe try meditation, try, you know, spiritual knowledge, try to open yourself up to that a little bit. So yeah. Thoughts on astral projection. I heard it's not for some people, as if the astral realm is dangerous. This isn't necessarily true, because I mean, what you believe will happen. Like, what you believe will be what you experience. Like, for me, in the past, when I would try to do it, I would be in a very raw state. And, like, when I would feel like I'm about to leave my body, I would get scared. Like, if it was, like, a spirit or, like, a demon or something in my room. But, you know, with just being fearful of that, it was preventing me from having a good experience with it. But overall, like, even then, like, you still cannot get hurt from doing this type of practice. Because it just doesn't happen. Like, there's never been any cases of it happening. And plus, like, I believe that you're protected just by your spirit guides and the universe. Like, yeah, it just won't happen. What is your motivation to love yourself and evolve? I think just, like, always knowing that you are divinely guided and that the universe wants to see you grow and expand. And that you are worthy of so much more, and you can be and do whatever you want in this life. The only thing stopping you is you. If you have any like thoughts of like, oh, I'm not good enough, or, oh, I don't deserve this, that's just like false ways of thinking. It's just basically conditioned thoughts. For example, with me going through high school, I had this certain friend who was very like hard on herself about her body and her weight and like her physical appearance. I didn't realize it until my spiritual awakening that that actually got into my mind, and that I always cared about my body and how I looked because of the experiences I had with her when I was little. So it's like that type of thing. Like, if you are not confident with yourself, there's something inside that has been like conditioned in your mind. So just knowing that any thoughts that put you down, any thoughts that you know, make you feel less than what you are, it's just your subconscious mind latching onto the emotional trauma that you experienced. So that was basically my biggest motivation and how to love myself, is that I can and I will be whatever I want to be. And I am worthy of attracting so much in my life. And also with just seeing the actual like progress that I've made with personal growth, that has given me more love. So just knowing that you can literally like see yourself grow into this magical god or goddess that you've always dreamt of being, that kind of helps me like evolve, just knowing that. Alright, I think that's the video. I really appreciate you guys to ask me questions and to watch this video. If you ever want to book a reading with me, just message me on Instagram. I always keep that in the description. If you have any questions, just comment down below. Stay tuned when I open up my question box on my story again. I'll probably do that sometime soon. So I'll see you guys whenever I see you next. Peace.